How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to a new match preview on the channel today. My name is Dave and hope you guys are keeping well and safe, and welcome back to Talking Wolves. Coming up now it is going to be our final game before Christmas. It's Wolves versus Burnley. A game where I think a lot of Wolves fans will feel is winnable, but we know in the past Burnley have given us some really tricky games and close games over the last couple of years. They've actually probably, well, we're very equal actually. I think it's 2 draws, off the top of my head, it's 2 draws and a win for each side as well. So, yeah, really difficult team to play against. So it's going to be an intriguing game, that's for sure. As always, be sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and please go and check out our channel partners over at OneFootball, a fantastic football app to go and check out if you haven't already. It's free to download on iOS and Android. Everybody loves a freebie. But if you're not already using a football a scores app or an app to keep up to date with the football news, be sure to go and check them out. Live football news update, team news, transfer rumours and transfer news, all live to your phone with notifications, and you get some cool match facts as well ahead of the game. We may well start reading a couple of those before a couple of the match previews in the future again, so please go and check them out. A link is in the description down below. But Wolves versus Burnley on Monday afternoon, evening. It's more evening, isn't it? And I'm looking forward to this one. You know what? The form or morale with Wolves fans this season so far has been like that, hasn't it? It's been like a roller coaster of emotions. We started off so well. We had that little dip to game week 2 and 3. We were back up again, and it's all doom and gloom, and then happy days again. So I'm hoping that we can stay on a high now. We stay at the peak after Monday's game against Burnley. You know, last week, a great win against Chelsea. I don't think many of us were expecting that, were we? Really, obviously, to be behind as well, a really well fought victory, and for us to be playing with the 5 at the back. You know, we went back with the 5 at the back, and we turned up. You know, we turned it around as well without the big man Raul Jimenez and Pedro Neto, Daniel Podence. Those are the two we need to rely on for goals, and they produced it on Tuesday, didn't they? They certainly did. So, yeah, lots of Wolves fans happy with that performance and that 3 points, and rightly so, really. But the situation now going into the game against Burnley is, are Wolves going to stick with that back 5, or do we return to the back 4? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. I think this is going to be interesting to see from Nuno's point of view, because I wouldn't be surprised to see him go with the back 4, and I think a lot of Wolves fans have said, look, let's go back 4 against the teams that, you know, aren't really going to attack and maybe we should be beating, and let's go back 5 for those teams like your Chelsea's, Manchester United's, Man City's, Liverpool, the ones that are going to attack us and make it difficult for us. So I watched small moments of Burnley's game against Aston Villa, and although they've got the big boys up front, they've got Chris Wood, they've got Ashley Barnes as well, who are, you know, on their day, very, very capable forwards. They don't like to attack in numbers, really. They are a team that like to sit really solid, quite defensively. And we saw that the game against at Turf Moor at the end of last season after lockdown. Nuno went so offensive in that game. I think he had Vinagre, he had Dharma, Podence, Neto, I think, off the top of my head. You know, we went really, really attacking in that game. So it'll be interesting to see. I think it would make sense to go over back 4. That means dropping probably Saïss or Bolly again. Before both were pretty solid in that last game. Saïss, especially the last couple of games, has been he's been okay. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But I'm hoping that we can just put up a very positive performance again just before Christmas. Burnley haven't had, on paper, the most fantastic of starts. So it's up to Wolves, really, to turn up in this game. We look at a couple of the individual performances. We saw Otasawi come in. Obviously, Dendoncker and Bolly, I think, have slight knocks at the moment anyway. Nuno has said in yesterday, which was Friday's press conference, that they were still unsure what was happening. You know, I think this is almost the perfect week to say, you know what, let's not risk them. You stick with the back 4 of Cody, with Cody and Saïss in the middle of that. And if you want to drop Dendoncker, you bring Owen Otasawi and give him his first start. You know, he's played so well recently over the last year or so for the under-23s. And I think he had a really good cameo against Chelsea, getting that assist, you know, winning the ball back, winning that header for the first goal. give him a first start, chuck him in the deep end. I think we're going to need that bit of physicality. He's a big and very quick player. And I think against Burnley, you're going to need that little bit of physicality in the middle there. Vitinha as well had a little cameo in there. So, he may deserve a shout in sort of that number 10 role as well. And bringing Adama off the bench so you could have Neto, Podence, Vitinha and Fabio Silva. So there's lots of options for Nuno there. And I think against Burnley, who are a team that are so well organised, I think you can afford to have these new players. I'm going to have as much pressure on them on the ball. I think they'll have a little bit more time on the ball, but it's up to them to sort of make the decisions to break through this Burnley defence. And this is the biggest test, I think, with us doing that with a back four system. I think the whole point of a back four system is to push more bodies forward. And I think Burnley's going to be the first real test, which is going to show some real solid defensive structure for Wolves to try and break down. Although they're not getting many wins at the moment, they're such a difficult team to break down and beat at times as well. Well, I've got the honour of introducing Vizza onto the channel as well, or Liam. Some of you guys may know him. He is a YouTuber as well on the platform. He's a Burnley fan, and here are his thoughts ahead of the game.
Yo, what is up, guys? My name is Vizza, otherwise known as Liam, and I'm here with Dave trying to help out with his Wolves versus Burnley preview. I'm just as clueless of what may happen in this game because it's a tale of two sides with some very interesting form. So let's get stuck in, boys. So, number one, we'll be getting into how has Burnley been on so far. Now, of course, I'm the Burnley fan, so I guess I may know more than what Wolves fans may know. And for Burnley recently, it's been very good compared to our start of the year. We in fact started off with a loss to Southampton, loss away at Leicester, and it wasn't fantastic by any means. We're dropping points when you would think that we would maybe scrape one or maybe even three. Such as Southampton at home, losing very easily to them is a bit of a worry. And we've in fact bounced back, and there's only one reason for that, and that is simply put Ben and me. Ever since it came back since Brighton away, we've kept ourselves 4 clean sheets out of 6, and that is very, very impressive to do in Premier League, especially when we are still seen as a bottom tier side. And Ben Mee is the main part of that. Ever since he joined in, we've looked even more solid, even more comfortable, and it is great to see. In terms of our attack, though, it is still very worrying. If anyone knows Burnley, then you will know that the only way to really defend against us is just to beg that we don't get a set piece, and that is kind of what the story has been this year. Only 6 goals, only so far in the Premier League season. They are, I think, 4. Majority of them has all been from set pieces. One of them being an own goal from Aubameyang against Arsenal away in the 1-0 win. So Burnley has been pretty good defensively in the last couple of games with some good clean sheets. However, attacking wise, it has been very, very worrying, guys. We have been very efficient. Only 6 goals and only being 17th place. You would think that's actually pretty good, but pretty good value of our points total. But hopefully we will try and get a few more points in the future, and there's only one reason why we may even get anything else, and that's because of Dwight McNeil, who has been unreal this year, and sadly his assists or goals may not say that, but on the pitch he has been a driving force of every single attack we've been doing, if it's through the middle, charging forward on counter-attacks, or just getting a few nice little neat balls in the box. He's our main player in any attack that we're having, and I think most teams have been noticing that because they've been double teaming up on him a lot this year and trying their best to try and kind of give him the least amount of opportunities, and that has worked in some games. So if Wolves do want a chance to try and get the 3 points against us, making sure that Dwight McNeil doesn't get that many chances, and also that they're trying to limit us to set pieces, that's their way forward. In terms of thoughts of the rest of the year for Burnley, I do believe that with Burnley we will be alright. I believe that defence wins titles, and in our case defence wins you at least 40 points in Premier League, or maybe 38 if you're unlucky. We should be fine. I think that the defence is the number one key which you need to try and stay up in the Premier League. I think any fan that has gone down or is challenging can tell you that Norwich fans, they actually played good football last year and it looked like a nice little neat attacking side, but in terms of defensively they were absolutely shambolic, and that's why they went down without a trace. And Sheffield United fans, even though last year they were absolutely wonderful to watch because you saw these players which you never thought would be anywhere near as good suddenly become amazing, but this year what have they been doing? They've been conceding and conceding a lot. And that could be because of the goalkeeper Ramsdale, or it could be because of many other factors. But that's why they're currently in this situation. That's why people think that West Brom and also Fulham are going on, because their defence is not that good. So for Burnley, defence wins titles. And if we keep up our form so far, as long as Ben Mee stays fit, we should be all right. And also onto Wolves. Wolves are a very interesting side. Of course, with the loss of Jimenez, is very worrying for you guys, because he is a massive part and a very good striker for me. I think he could play in a lot of top 6 clubs very comfortably at Arsenal. Probably not Spurs, but debatably even Chelsea right now. I think that he could. So he's a very good striker, and I do raise him a lot. So he's a big loss. For me, Podence is our main threat, not because he's been in good form recently, but also he has got history of scoring against Burnley for the Europa League. For Olympiacos, he in fact scored, which pretty much set us out of the Europa League. And I do think that he's a nice little player, and he may in fact get better and better for Wolves this year, so I'll keep an eye on him. In terms of your midfield, you got the likes of Ruben Neves, and a very smart midfield, very technical, highly technical ability. And we just got to make sure that we just battle it out and try and use our grit, a bit of hard work, a bit of extra work rate, try and battle with that midfield, which may be better which is better than us technically than the likes of Westwood and Brownhill. However, people may say Adama Traore. However, last time you faced him, I'm pretty sure that Charlie Taylor and even Eric Peters was able to handle him quite well, because simply put, he is really just pace merchant, isn't he? So Adama may score a goal now to try and cause me a bit of a backlash, but we'll see. So that is my thoughts on the game. Let's give my final thoughts, my final prediction, and I'm going to say that this game will be, as it's at Turf Moor, Burnley only losing one game in the last 6, and that was against Man City away. We are in good form. We are grinding out points when needed, and this is a big game for us at home. So I would say my head, as a normal football fan, will say I'm a hope for a draw. I will be happy with a draw, I guess, like a 1-1 draw or something. But the Burnley fan inside me says 1-0 Burnley. My heart says 1-0 Burnley. So I don't know what to say. Wolves fans are in a bit of a... It's a bit weird right now for you guys. So I would say you guys would you take a draw? Would you take a draw right now against Burnley at Turf Moor? In recent games, it's been 1-1 last year in both games. So I would say 1-1 is potentially on the horizon again, but you never know. So that's my thoughts, and thank you, Dave, for getting me on.
So a big thanks to Liam for that. As I say, I'm sure some of you may know him, but links to him are down in the description down below. Big thanks to him again for helping out and giving his thoughts ahead of the game. Well, I normally do my predicted lineup, but like I said a few moments ago, it's sort of up in the air still for me. I'm really unsure with how Nuno is going to set up. I think we'll go with that, but with 4 at the back again. I think we'll see Marcel start at left back. I've got to say, Marcel has been very, very solid over the last couple of weeks. Semedo as well at right back. Back in there. Of course, some of his performances have got slight question marks over them. But, I'm hoping this game he can put a bit of pressure on Burnley, get him up the pitch a little bit more, try and get him involved a little bit more. Centre-backs of Cody and Sace. I think if Bolly is slightly unfit or Nuno's unsure on that, I don't think he'll take the risk. And Patricio in goal, obviously. And then the rest of the pitch, I think Otasawi's within a shout. I think, like I said, Vitinha could be within a shout of another start. Fabio Silva, Neto and Podence, I think will be up there. And I think I would start Adama on the bench. I think with how deep and solid Burnley are going to play, until we've scored a goal or maybe latter part of the game where Burnley start to squeeze up the pitch slightly, I think if Burnley is sitting so deep, there's almost, it's going to be difficult for Adama to sort of break through those lines. But I might be surprised. Adama's a very capable player, but I like him coming off the bench. I think he caused Chelsea some issues. Although he didn't get a direct goal contribution, he caused them some issues when he came off the bench with those fresh, quick, powerful legs on Tuesday. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys, ahead of this game. Final game before Christmas. Can Wolves get another win? That'd be huge. It's so close still in the table right now. And some results sort of going in our favour so far. So I'm hoping if we can get 3 points, I think now these are the sort of games. We've still got some tough fixtures coming up, Spurs and United. This is a game Wolves really need to be getting 3 points in. So fingers crossed we can do that. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your score predictions, lineup predictions, and thoughts ahead of the game, guys. And until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon.